Hello, Mr. Arshad. How are you?
Good, Sabir. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And viewers, this is Mr. Arshad Khan. He's a certified, we just lost him. He's a certified home inspector and also owner of QualitySpec Inc. We'll give it a couple of moments just to get him back. I think he lost his internet. I got some messages about no sound. Can you all hear me now? If you can give me a quick thumbs up, that'll be great helpful. Thank you. Thank you. I think we had some technical issue where we lost Mr. Arshad Khan as well. So I'm going to try to call him, see if he's available. My apologies, viewers. Sometimes we have these internet issues, unfortunately. Okay, we have Mr. Arshad Khan is back. We're going to bring him to the stage.
So,
Hello, Mr.
yeah, a little bit glitch here.
No, I know. We totally understand. Sometimes internet issues, things can happen. Thank you for joining us. I know you're a very busy person. You are always busy because you're one of the best home inspectors we know around. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And we have viewers waiting to hear from you. So if you don't mind to start with just a little bit about yourself, Arshad. And one of the
Sabir, thank you very much for having me.
Yes, why did you become a home inspector? That's one of the questions we always have. So introduce yourself, please, for the guest.
Just a little bit about myself. My name is Arshad Khan, and I'm a professional engineer and a certified home inspector, over 21 years of experience. So in the construction industry, over the years, I have completed more than 6,000, I would say 7,000 residential inspection and over 500 commercial inspection. I have always enjoyed understanding how building work, and becoming a home inspector allowed me to combine my engineering background with the helping people to make one of the biggest financial decision of their life. So because of my engineering background, it compelled me, and I would like to help people share my knowledge.
Thank you, Arshad. I really appreciate once again, your time here. So for the viewers, if you can, because we have a lot of first-time home buyers, they have no idea that why they need home inspections. So if you can explain a little bit about what does home inspection includes and what doesn't include. So both part, please.
Okay, so home inspection is basically non-invasive. We don't do drills and holes. We not remove the walls. We don't do remove the furniture or predict anything for the future. Home inspection basically consists of 8 major systems. So that's outside your roof, your windows, your facade, which is the whole structure of the house, your grading. So that's number one. Number two is electrical, plumbing, structure, heating, cooling, attic, and we also check the basement with a thermal imaging camera for the possible mold, stuff like that. So these are the 8 systems that we focus on.
Thank you. So in my experience, there's a lot of first-time home buyers, because obviously after putting the down payment, they are always in shortage on cash, typically first-time home buyers. So they always think about, okay, should I spend the money on home inspection or not? They hesitate about this sometimes. So what is your professional opinion about this, being a home inspector, that should they invest that money to actually get into the new house?
A good question. See, as I mentioned, that this is one of the biggest investment one ever do in the lifetime, right? So for relatively a very small cost, you gain valuable information. A lot of people, especially first-time buyers, uh, they don't know how, like, what's the condition of the 8 system that I mentioned. How is the roof? How is the furnace? Um, how is the AC, the hot water tank? Is there any mold? Is the attic insulation is missing? What kind of wiring we have? Do you have a knob and tube, aluminum, or asbestos we have in the house? So all these things, because they don't know, this is the information that they get, okay? And they know the condition of the property before they invest their money into it, so that how these 8 major systems are. So all these things uh, are really important for a first-time home buyer, and this is like I say, one of the very small cost and very important to do that.
So with this, have you ever had any situation that you saved a buyer a significant amount of money because the issue that you found?
You know what, again, a very good question. Yes. So I've discovered like major structural movement, significant foundation issues, hidden water leaks in the finished basement, failing roof, unsafe electrical systems. And so all these basically help the buyers to renegotiate the purchase price and ask the seller to complete the repairs. So yes, it could be anything, even a roof is costly nowadays, right? So
Absolutely, absolutely. So when you say this between the rural areas of Ontario or GTA, in GTA, what is the most of the common issues that you find?
well, basically, the most common uh, problem that we see is aging roof. Okay, roof is something has a life. Foundation crack, poor grading outside, water can get into the house. Basement moisture, outdated electrical, plumbing. Also, what kind of plumbing you have? If it's um, galvanized or if it's cast iron, again, it has a lifespan. So, and as I mentioned, the basement moisture. And the furnace and AC. So all these things, basically, these are a very typical thing that we find normally.
Is it for the new houses or mostly the bungalows or
Well, basically, yeah, all the older houses, I'm
mostly
talking about.
older
I
houses?
mean, the newer homes, again, the roof, you're good for 20, 25 years. Same thing with the furnace and AC. In the newer homes, mostly you're looking workmanship, aesthetic rather than bigger problems, like the
Mhm.
roof, furnace, AC. All these are mostly you see in older homes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have seen actually quite a few new homes, get flooded in the basement in the first year. So that's a very common issue we've been seeing lately as well.
Exactly. Yep. Foundation cracks can be in a newer home or older home. Poor grading can cause the water leak. So all these issue is possible. Yeah.
Thank you, Arshad. Thank you so much for those. And what is one of the biggest red flag buyers should never ignore for any properties, either a new one or older property, it doesn't matter. Which is the biggest red flag you can tell?
Well, I always say water, water, water. Water is the biggest problem or could be issue in any house. So basically, any evidence of ongoing water intrusion, mold, unsafe electrical installation, roof, like I say, major is also a deterioration on the roof. So these type of problems that basically are the red flags.
Right. So I know you talked about the foundation crack, which is a major issue for any property that can create a bigger problem as we move forward as a new ownership. But let's say a property stay in a beautiful location, one of the highly desired location. Property is great, fully updated, and really, buyer really loves it, and they fall in love to it. But you found it there's a foundation crack. So, what is your suggestion would be for that particular buyer, and they really want to buy it? And what would be the best suggestion for them?
Again, a very good question, Sabir. Because being myself as a structural engineer, I help people. So when the people say crack, when they see crack, they really get scared. So let me just educate the people. So the vertical cracks, hairline cracks, cracks are very typical. Any house can have it. Vertical hairline cracks are very typical. There's no structural concern. But if we have horizontal cracks, and also it depends, the horizontal cracks are bad. Okay, that's why the builder tell you do not finish the basement for the first 2 years. If you see the horizontal crack, that's basically foundation snapped. So that's a no-no, has to be fixed. So horizontal but horizontal cracks are very normal. And I see this every day. I educate people that you don't need to worry about anything. This is not a structural issue. If you look for the vertical, we also look for the stair step cracks, basically. So these are the sign of the movement that should be evaluated further. Other than that, cracks are very normal. Vertical cracks are very normal.
Right. But generally, we hear that first 5 years is the most crucial time for any new build.
The first 2 years, basically.
First 2 years, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of our bungalows are like 40, 50, 60 years old. Why do we see these cracks in this? Is there a particular reason? So it's always constantly shifting is still going on, basically, right?
Are you talking about the poor concrete foundation, or are you talking about the block foundation? What foundation are you talking about?
Let's talk about both, because for the education purpose.
So basically, poor concrete, these are the settlement cracks. It happens the first year, the first 2 years. Okay? And they are very typical. Hairline cracks you see everywhere. They're not any structural issues. As I mentioned, it's the horizontal. That's something we look for. But again, if the basement is finished, so that unfortunately, because as I mentioned, inspection is not invasive. So if the basement is finished, that something can be missed by the inspector, because if I don't see it, I cannot. But the vertical cracks are very, very typical. And that's why the horizontal cracks, that's why the builder recommend not to finish the first 2 years. So if anything happens, you're under warranty, you're covered. So they can fix that for you.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Thank you. The other than concrete foundation, concrete block foundation, because concrete block foundation has mortar in between the blocks. So if there are diagonal cracks, that's typical again. They're very typical because diagonal cracks is shifting cracks. But if something again horizontal, that's a big problem because your foundation basically pushed by the forces outside and it's snapped now. So that's a serious issue.
That's a very good answer. Actually, information for our viewers for sure. And now, during their ownership, because sometimes we don't see any problems at the purchase time, but during their ownership, what should the homeowners should watch for possible future crack or something that is coming up, any moisture, anything like that? So, what is your suggestion for that?
Well, basically, like I said, during the inspection, if it's not finished, if I see cracks, we look outside first, okay? And we look for the cracks, the vertical cracks. Vertical cracks are typical in nature. They're not structural issues. It depends how big it is. So for example, if the crack is bigger, then we recommend epoxy injection, which can be done from inside. You don't have to excavate because it depends how old the house is. The house is within 30 years. We do have a waterproofing membrane outside. But if the house is built in 40s, 50s, we do not have the waterproofing membrane outside. So then excavation is the only way of doing it. But the newer home with a concrete foundation under 30, 40 years, you can do epoxy injection. But if the basement is finished, then again, you cannot tell. The only way we can find out is from outside. So this is something, again, like I said, during inspection, we look for it. But if the client wants to see, they can also look for that stuff. And the other thing is like the moisture problem is something is very important. As I said, water is the only problem and one of the biggest issue. So what I suggest to the client that when you go inside the house, look for the mustiness. If there's any musty odor, musty means there is a moisture in the house, or could be the leak in the house. Mold growth, you will see the mold growth on the baseboard. Okay, look for that. Peeling paint. And also warped flooring. So these are the sign. And mineral deposit like efflorescence, the white powder that you see on the foundation wall. Again, if it's visual, if it's not visual, you can miss that out as well. So all these signs that they should look for, because moisture problem is number one problem in the house.
Absolutely. I think that's a great information, Arshad. We have one of the viewers actually have a question. I'll put on the screen that question for you. Yeah. It's from Vivek Shen. What is the most surprising defect you have ever discovered or heard about during a Toronto home inspection?
Well, it's not one, it's many. So for example, I would not say surprise. These are very typical things like water leaks in the house, missing insulation in the attic, Um, what else? I would say 60 amps. 60 amps services, which is not accepted anymore. It has to be
Yeah.
it has to be 100 amps on minimum. But like I said, water and mold. So these are the very typical thing that I normally see. I mean, I would say it's not a surprise, but these are expected. I mean, in the house, because if there's any water damage, um, you will notice these things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Water is the most biggest issue for any
The
house when
biggest,
that
yeah,
occurs. Yeah.
the biggest enemy of a home.
Biggest enemy of the house. Absolutely. When it comes to that point. But how important is the age of the condition of a roof when it comes to roof inspection? Is it?
Well, yeah, okay. Again, a good question, because house is underneath your roof, so everything is coming from the top. So roof is very, very important, and also one of the costly component of the house. So okay, even if it's not leaking, but we look for the age. So for example, 15 to 20 years, that's the normal lifespan of a shingle. Depends, nowadays we have between 15 to 20 years, um, 25 years, 30 years shingles. But to be very honest, nothing lasts more than 20 years. So between 15 to 20, 25, that's the maximum lifespan. So when I go out, I educate people that how old is your roof and what is the lifespan left on it. So this is something important. Even as I mentioned, if it's not leaking, but the condition of the shingles, are they missing? Is it warped? The gaps are increased. So all these things that we educate people, because as I mentioned, the roof is very costly.
Absolutely. And because you mentioned that during the housing inspection, you also do furnace, air condition, and water heaters as well. So, what buyers should know about these components of the house?
Yes. So again, all these items, all these systems, components, sorry, uh, they have life. So your furnace typical life is 15 to 20 years. Your AC is similar, and your hot water tank is around 8 to 15 years. So our job is to educate the client that, for example, if the furnace is 20 years old, so it's almost at the end of its lifespan, and it's need replacement, even though I have seen furnace running 30, 40 years. But older furnaces, for example, 30 or 35, 40 years old furnace might have a crack heat exchanger, which is not good, okay, because all CO can come into the house. That's a safety hazard. But we educate client how old the unit is, either it's AC furnace or hot water tank. What is the lifespan left on it? These are the important things.
Also, the efficiencies matter too, right? So, older the unit, lesser the efficiency about the
And the less
consumption.
efficient as well. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's yeah.
No, thank you so much. And as far as the electrical side of the house, for
Yeah.
electricity, hydro, what are the common issues that you see as a home inspector? Most houses.
Yes. So basically, especially the newer homes, again, it could be some defective GFCIs, not too much in a newer home, but older home, you could have a knob and tube wiring, aluminum wiring. There's nothing wrong with aluminum wiring, but insurance company, they're a little bit tough on it. They ask for a certificate from electrician just to make sure that it's safe. If it's done pigtailing, so that's number one. Number two, as I mentioned, knob and tube. So knob and tube is still 1940s. These homes, they still have it. Sometimes people upgrade it um, visually, what you see, but in the back or behind the wall, you still have knob and tube. And how we determine that is sometimes the electrical outlets, they're two prong outlets. So two prong outlets will indicate you have a knob and tube. So the GFCI issue, I mean, protection by the water. So that's number one. Number two, all the branch wiring, as I mentioned, is a knob and tube. What is it? Aluminum. And what's the percentage? Your insurance company, they require that. Ungrounded receptacle. So all these knob and tube wirings, they were ungrounded. They were not grounded. So it has to be grounded. You have to do that. And also amateur work modification. A lot of people think they can do electrical work. They buy the books and they do these things. So amateur work also, we look for that stuff as well. And so these are very important things about the electrical.
Perfect. Thank you. And also, I want to talk a little bit about the plumbing too, because we talked about the water. We talked about the electrical lines, and all that. Tell us a little bit about the plumbing.
Okay.
Of concerns you
Yeah,
may have.
same thing. With the newer homes, we have all ABS, which is good. That's accepted by all the standards. But in older homes, we had galvanized piping and we had cast iron piping, so which was the main stack. So that's something. Again, you can have issue with the insurance, and these plumbing has a life of around 50 to 60 years, and then they corrode and they can burst. So insurance company worry about these things. So we look for that, and also the sewer lines. Okay, and any hidden leaks inside the walls because of these older drainage system, and also your service line, main water line, also sometimes can have the issue. The older home did not have the sewer backup preventing valve, and insurance company normally asks for that as well. This is something inspector cannot see because it's in ground, unless someone recently upgraded it and you see that, because you'll see a small box on the floor. So yes, all these things are very important. So the drain system, the drain issue, hidden leaks, galvanized piping, cast iron piping, all these, we look for that stuff.
That's great. And nowadays, a lot of people actually purchasing a lot of new houses in building in Toronto. So I had buyers who didn't want to do home inspection for a new home. And what is your advice about this?
Well, I always tell people that you should. The reason, because many homes are being built and a lot of contractors are in and out. And there's only few supervisors. Their job is not to check electrical or plumbing or anything. They just look at few aesthetic things like the flapper cover outside is missing, stuff like that, but they don't go thorough. So what I've seen in newer homes, and you'll be surprised, no insulation in the attic. You paid for it, but there's no insulation in the attic. Missing eavesdrops. I did a house in Barrie last week, 2 years old house, and all eavesdrop outside, the gutters that collect the waters, completely missing. The front balcony, it was not finished. All the flashing was not installed. So I was just, a lot of people just, when they say it's a newer house, we don't need inspection, who will pay for this? So this house that I did recently, the estimate was roughly around $5,000. So as I said, missing insulation is possible. The eavesdrop
Mr. Arshad,
sometimes.
looks like we're having a little bit of internet issue somewhere.
Oh,
You're
can you hear me
we're
now?
just
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Sorry about that again. We had a technical difficulty, unfortunately, one of those days. Mr. Arshad, back to the show again. We
Yes,
had
sir.
something had dropped all of a sudden, and it disconnected us from everywhere.
No
Viewers,
problem.
we really apologize for technical glitch. Please, Mr. Arshad, if you can go on with this question we're answering at the moment.
Yes.
But we are
So for the newer homes, definitely there's a lot of problems. As I mentioned, that there are only one supervisor or few, and there are a lot of contractors are in and out, different trade people, and there are a lot of possibility that they miss something or don't finish things properly. For example, I have seen attic installations completely missing. I did a house in Barrie 3 days back, and I saw all the eavesdrop outside. It's completely missing. Like how they can miss that? And all the front side of the house, there was a balcony. The balcony, the flooring, everything was completely missed. No caulking around the windows. A lot of people don't understand these things now. If you miss these things, the water can come in. Where the water going to go is going to be all basically like a shower in front of your house because the eavesdrops are missing. All the aesthetics, for example, in the bathrooms, sometimes the contractor, the plumber, they completely miss the caulking around the drain, around your faucets. The backsplashes are missing. Now, backsplash, again, it's not a costly, but it's required in behind the sink. If you miss these things after a year, they're not going to come back and do that for you because, again, they're working on a very tight line on all these things, right? And once the warranty is over, they will not come back and do that stuff. So aesthetically, yes, it's a newer house, but workmanship, there's a lot of problem that I find, and it's very important to do because you're covered. You paid for it. Why not? So like I said, a couple of $100 will save you from big grief.
Absolutely. We had one of the viewers, one of our agents, Biplab Kumar Karmakar, had a question, but I think Mr. Arshad already covered that. Biplab, this is the leakage in basement and through foundation. He already covered that. If you, after the show, you can always, watch this show again from the beginning. You will get the answer. Thank you so much for the question. And another suggestion from you, Mr. Arshad. Most of the home inspection, sometime we had faced that buyer says, okay, you're the agent, you go there, have the inspection done. Your suggestion, your advice for the buyers, should the buyer should be present or not?
Basically, I always recommend the buyer should be there, especially on the day of inspection, to attend the walkthrough. It's not only they learn about the house, but also the maintenance, what needs to be done for the furnace, for the humidifier, for the HRV if we have it. Also, how the home system works. So all this is very, very important, and ask questions during that time. And also you get a lot of knowledge during the inspection, how the systems works, what's the lifespan, what needs to be done. So it's very, very imperative for any buyer to join the home inspection.
To get some knowledge as well. Yeah, absolutely.
And get some knowledge, yes.
And what is the general typical timeline? I mean, typical inspection time takes for any house?
Well, it all depends, Sabir, the age of the house, how well kept, how big the house is. So I would say hour and a half to 2.5 hours. Any house under 2,000, hour and a half to 2 hours. If a house is 3,000, 3,500, so you're looking 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It all depends on how well maintained the house is. If it's not, there's a lot of things, it takes more time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes more time. And again, we examine everything during the inspection. I take photograph, I document all my findings, and also then the client receive a PDF comprehensive report with the pictures, all the findings with observation and all the recommendation.
Right. And obviously your reports are generally very, very detailed. And I have seen sometimes buyers get panicked when they see the reports. And with the inspection, how should we interpret this findings to the buyer? Because I know there's a lot of small issues for the first.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it's
when they
important
read
to
the report,
remember
right?
that,
So how what is this?
yeah. So, like I said, it's very important to understand that whether a house is 5 years old or 100 years old, there will be deficiencies. Every house do. Okay, so the inspection report is designed to document everything. Like there are 8 systems in the report, and it's designed for everything in detail, whether it's a roof, exterior, your heating, cooling, plumbing, and structure, everything. Okay, uh, so the minor maintenance item, basically, that's something you should ignore. It could be a lot, right? But what we focus on major items. If your roof is going to be replaced, if your furnace, you have a structural issue, stuff like that. If the railing is missing, or baseboard is a little bit missing or sagging, these item these are cosmetic, aesthetic. So a client should not worry about these things. They should focus on the big items that cause big expenses, that can be a big expense down the road.
Absolutely. And in your opinion, with this same topic, when is the time to negotiate the price or negotiate the repair or price reduction? What is your suggestion about which part is important and when?
Well, again, the as I mentioned, significant structural issues, major water damages, roof failure, expensive mechanical like your furnace and AC. So this is something. These are the items that you should be considering negotiating the price reduction or asking them to repair it for you. Not the small stuff like railing and etc. stuff like that.
I see. So would you for the sellers, would you advise them to get a pre-inspection, uh, pre-listing inspection before the listing? Is it a suggestible advice, or what is your opinion on that?
I highly recommend. It benefits the seller. So number one, nobody knows what's the condition in the attic. And nowadays, every third house that I see has mold. So for example, you're selling a house, you have mold in the attic, you don't know. What if you have a hidden leak underneath the bathroom? So a lot of times you have a small leak underneath your bathrooms, you don't know. So our thermal imaging camera, we detect that stuff. If they bring the inspector, so they will find these things out, and again it will delay the process, the negotiation process, and they will ask for more money. So it's kind of proactive approach. So if you do a pre-listing, if there are any hidden items that needs to be addressed, this is your opportunity to fix it, repair it before you put the house in the market, and everything will be very smooth.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Arshad. And we almost because I know you have a little bit time strain today, because that's why we did a two segment of this show today. What would be the last piece of advice that you want to give our viewers? That's something you feel everybody should follow.
A good question. Well, I always say don't let your emotion override good judgment. Okay, buying a house is exciting. We all know that, but it's also one of the largest financial investment that one I would make in a lifetime. So take your time, understand the condition of the house, ask questions, never skip the home inspection. So this is something very important.
Okay. I have a few rapid questions for you. I'm just going to fire it toward you. You're going to quickly
Okay.
answer it for me. Condo or detached home?
Uh, Detached home, definitely more space, more freedom, and
Well, I think
long
most
term
people will say
appreciation
that.
as well. So, yeah, so detached home, I would say. Are you there, Sabir? Can you hear me? I think your screen is frozen again.
I really have to apologize. We had a power outage here quickly. Just
Oh, okay. That's no good.
so I just connected through my hotspot now because we don't have internet. One of those days. Apologies to the viewers again. It is what it is. So we're just at the rapid questions. I know, Mr. Arshad, you have to go soon. Viewers, I really apologize for the inconvenience which since today. Just quick couple of more questions. You said finished basement.
Yes, finished basement if it's done professionally and no free of moisture issue,
Perfect. Tankless water heater or traditional tank?
Well, they're both good if maintained very well, but tankless is more energy efficient and less space. So
But it
pro and
takes a little
con.
longer to get hot water supply. It takes a little bit longer to get hot water.
Yes, in the morning only. In the morning, it takes 1 minute. So once you turn it on, then you're good to go. But energy
Perfect.
efficient, less space. If that's what you want, then it's good. But like I said, both are good, tank or tankless, because again, it depends how big the house is and what the needs are.
Perfect. Asphalt shingles or metal roof?
Well, metal roof is longevity. I mean, if you can afford it, expensive. It lasts longer, 40 to 70 years. But if affordability wise, I would just say asphalt
Okay. And home inspection before the offer or after the offer?
before the offer. So at least you can negotiate if there's any findings.
Absolutely. Um, One thing every buyer should bring to a home inspection. What's the suggestion?
I check for the home inspector.
Of
Well,
course.
well, like I said, come prepare with open mind and bring a notebook, or you can take notes in your phone, ask questions, take your notes, educate yourself.
Thank you. Biggest home buying myth, a myth you heard.
Uh, you know what? They say that if the house is new, like you don't need to do inspection. That's simply not true.
Yep, true. And one last one. What's one issue buyers often overlook that ends up costing them the most?
Well, the poor drainage around the house, the grading, okay, which is responsible of the water leaks. So that's something always overlooked. I always recommend your water is the number one enemy. So outside your grading, your downspout should be 4 to 6 feet away from the house. Maintain the grading. It's very simple, nothing expensive, just topsoil. Do a 45 angle slope against the foundation. Maintain that, and you should be fine.
Thank you so much, Arshad. That was Ms. Arshad Khan, owner of QualitySpec Inc. and licensed home inspector. I really appreciate your time, Mr. Arshad. I know you have to go somewhere. That's why we shortened the time for you. And we have a second segment of the show for a few minutes. So you're free to go. Thank you so much for your time. We'll be in touch again in a future show. And hopefully we get some better things we're going to talk about next show, inshallah. Thank you.
Absolutely, Sabir. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. And second, I do presentations. Like this is a general question session, but like for example, I have a lot of presentation like a septic tank, your knob and tube wiring, your electrical, older homes. What are the problems? Insurance problems. Probably you also heard about Kitech plumbing, what it is, when it was installed, what are the issues. So there's so many topics that normally I discuss. I go and discuss in the brokerage is different, but nowadays everything is happening online like this, through Zoom or other media. So I would definitely, if you need, would love to educate people.
Thank you. Would you like to share your phone number with our viewers so in case if they need home inspection so they can call?
Absolutely. So it's 416-627-4773, and it's QualitySpec Inc. That's the company name.
Thank you so much, Arshad. You have a great
Thank you, sir.
evening. I'll see you again.
You too.
Thank you. So viewers, we finished our first segment. Thank you so much for being patient with us tonight. It was a horrible internet situation. I haven't faced that during the show before, but it is one of those days. And thank you for being patient with us. Now we're going to show you some listing properties that we have under Dream Valley Realty. those are featured on our listing. So let's take a look at those properties. Thank you. Viewers, thank you so much for your time. We really apologize. I was not feeling very good about this whole situation that we faced with the technical difficulties, but this is one of those things that happens in life, unfortunately. But I really appreciate everyone who joined us today and saw our live show, which will be every week, every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Today is the only day we had some glitch, but and we are shortening the program today because of the technical difficulties. So next week we'll have a new guest, another guest with another professional in real estate to give you practical advice and market insights and help you to make your decisions easier for property buy and sell. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach us anytime. You can reach us our brokerage 416-951-9929, or you can send us messages if you have any questions for the next episode, Or if you want to join our episode, you can also let us know. We'll be happy to invite any professionals who can advise our buyers and sellers to make informed decisions. So tonight we'll cut it short a little, 5 minutes shorter, because we lost a lot of time in between too. Thank you so much again for your time, and everybody had a great evening, and see you next week. Thank you so much.